Kia ora from Aotearoa. It's Poppy here with the current 9th wave Sacred Mayan calendar energies. And today we start a new 9-day phase in one seed, as you can see at the very top of the curve here. And this is about seeds of awareness taking hold for the purpose of unity. Okay, so I'm going to explain a little bit in this presentation about the different eras of time. This is most definitely the time where we come into unity consciousness, but we really have to understand what duality is, what the entanglements are that we need to break out of, and everything like that, to have the awareness to do so. And there is an invocation of energy reclamation or soul reclamation that will be at the end of this presentation that you are welcome to do if you feel to, and I will have that written in the comments. So the 9-day phase is in one seed. So let's allow prolific and fertile seeds of awareness to grow us, receiving the light time frequencies, the photons that exist in our DNA, as we are naturally nourished by the grounding of strong roots, building our energy and our being in nature and with the earth. And to rise, we release entanglements. So let's look and see, where are these entanglements that humanity has got enslaved to? Rise above obstacles and share the food and abundance caught in our nets, because at the moment we can't share it when it's taken from us almost immediately. And release ourselves from destructive worldwide nets that have enslaved us and stolen the harvests of abundance meant to be more equally shared. So ascending on, we integrate the magic of lightness and love and joy and play, and we tweak our destiny roads in order to enjoy flights of freedom. So what I've got here today has the potential to release from many entanglements and really bring us back and to really claim our power back. But first, I'm going to talk about how humanity has got enslaved, and I'm just going to use some facts to demonstrate that. Yeah. I particularly want to look into how the trauma carries on with blood sacrifice, use of children, child trafficking. It's happening right now as we speak, so it's really still very important to address this. A lot of people say, oh no, we're all out and all's good, but they are, for a fact, still taking children through the welfare systems all around the world, and it's been quite a theme that I've seen here in my own country, and listening to an incredible mother who has lost her children and been the one that was declared guilty and wrong and the one that was punished when she got hair analysis on her children who were starting to tell her things, and found the date rape, roofie, drugs in that, and then they turned everything all around on her. She's lost her children. Out of love, she is speaking up, and out of courage, she is speaking up. We all need to find our courage now. The more of us that can get this awareness out there, the more of us that can come together and do the work, and let people know that these things are happening and that there are ways of getting out of it and through it, the better. So that does take courage. When it comes to children, mothers get a lot of courage. I know that. And also you get a lot of courage from going through SRA, because you never know whether you're going to be one who lives or dies. And you get to this point where you become kind of fearless, and it's just courage. I mean, in a sense, it's like, you just take me out, just kill me, because but you lose your fear of death. The torture's worse. Yeah, so these are the things that do need to be undone, and also how it does relate to the court systems, to the police, to every single system. We will find that the Masonic Order is in there, placed in there, actually stopping these secrets from being disclosed. I mean, look at the Hampstead cases and how they draw it out and delay it all out. They won't call it satanic because the satanic system isn't going to call itself satanic, I guess. And they do everything that they can to try and keep their secret under wraps. But it isn't a secret any longer to many. But all that is secret will come to the light. This is the time, these frequencies that are emitted, these time codes that are emitted from the cosmic axis, are also like light codes, and that light, when we connect, that gets imprinted on our DNA. We can upgrade, we can rise, and so we will. So how did slavery and sacrifice take hold on this planet? And how does this depravity and trauma end? Why is blood ritual sacrifice protected and not seen as a heinous crime? Okay, so looking at colonisation, New Zealand is a name registered on a stock market. It's just a name, and that's why I like to call it Aotearoa. The first Masonic meeting in New Zealand happened in 1837. The first lodge was built in 1842. The Declaration of Independence happened in 1835. That was the first time the written law came into this country. The Treaty of Waitangi, which allowed the governance or parliament to begin, was in 1840. Churches and Masons bring in the colonisation. The first Grand Lodge in England was 1717. Masons build churches and lodges with their knowledge of geometry and ley lines. So the Spanish word ley actually means law. So we could actually say they are law lines. They put the law into the power systems of the earth. They are power lines. And many native people actually counter those with the song lines. But so rituals are committed on these ley lines to empower law through blood and sacrifice. And this is Draco alien technology. America, the Grand Lodge of Massachusetts was built in 1733. The King Solomon Lodge in 1776. This is where it appeared that political connections to Great Britain were severed. Of course, the secret things were still all in place. The connection with the secret societies was still there, making the countries look separate, but the whole agenda still being run through the secret societies. Benjamin Franklin had a 52-year Masonic career, strongly influencing American Freemasonry with the publication of the Constitution of Freemasons in 1734. That was 1 year after the Grand Lodge of Massachusetts was built. Of course, when he wrote his autobiography, none of this was mentioned because it's a secret society and you're not allowed to mention that. So there's been thousands of years of the secrecy. George Washington was a Masonic as well. So the patriarchy was firmly coming in with the founding fathers, with the Declaration of Independence. That was the veneer. Of course, that Declaration of Independence, just like the one here in New Zealand, never really holds the possibility of what it appears to be written as, due to word magic and legalese. So back here to New Zealand, the first church was built in Russell in 1835, very close to the Waitangi Treaty grounds. This was in the same year as the Declaration of Independence. In 1814, there was the first Anglican church. This was started with missionary Samuel Marsden. He was called the flogging parson due to his use of flogging people as punishment when he was a magistrate in Sydney, Australia, before coming to New Zealand as a missionary. So he was a magi, a magus, a magician of the dark magical arts of control governments and further trauma that are all connected and work with and through secret societies. There's no love in these secret societies. The biggest giveaway, even the Bible says that you know them by their fruits. But yeah, so no love. They have the whole moral compass, because if you have given your soul away, or you don't even have a soul, because not all of these Masons are proving to be human souls, but rather entities that require the power of the human soul to function in their agenda. So that means that they need this moral compass so that they have their own laws and codes of behaviour and how to interact with real humans that feel and are sentient. So yeah, they are using Draco-Reptilian technology. The written word is that. One of the amazing things about Māori is they never had a written language. They were intelligent. They could navigate all the seas without words and what is written down, because they had their gifts, their human gifts of being connected to the land were absolutely intact. They knew how to read horizons, they knew how to read nature, they were connected with nature, they could, they had telepathy, and they had other gifts that some humans are getting them returned back, but there was an intelligence that was there that is not needed with the written word. The written word has become a way of recording. Yeah. And so, of course, this Draco-Reptilian technology is also the calendar systems. And, of course, there's consciousness that come with these ritual dates. The Roman calendar was the Julian calendar, and then that changed over to the Gregorian calendar later on when things became more Catholic. They use astrology. They were the first users of astrology. Astrological observations for the best energies to support their rituals, with their developments of oath, covenants, laws, conditions, regulations, legalities, spellcasting, sentencing, charging, execution, court systems. So this is the duality of good and evil, and many of us end up with the pressure to agree to survive. We have to be so careful that we actually don't lose our souls in the process of trying to survive. So also 1666 was when they burned London, blamed it on some poor bugger. But anyway, this was where everyone was declared lost at sea. The CTKV Act came in, introduction of Admiralty law, where everyone was pronounced dead. And so they've been operating with humans through dead persons. Person, your person, to commerce. 33 AD was when Rome burned. That was when the state law came in and people were governed and controlled again as dead persons. Court systems are basically outright satanic rituals and practices. They even wear the black capes. It's all about judgments. It's declaring judgment and calling judgment upon someone. They use legalese, which is a convoluted word magic, to make anything go in their favour of the controllers ultimately. Even the judge has to be called your worship. You have to give power to them if you attend one of those satanic rituals. Worship is energy transfer to the subject, claiming the energy of power. Now, the King James Bible was put together by King James, who also published Demonology the year before that. He was the one that orchestrated witch hunts, killing many women who practiced things like herbalism, midwifery, facilitating healing process with nature. So again, disconnecting people from nature into dreadful belief, which was basically spiritualism of demonic harming powers. So the sixth wave came in 3115 BC. There was a pre-wave, according to Dr. Carl Kellerman's work, in 8240 BC. This is where we start hearing about the Sumerian tablets. The monotheistic religions like Christianity was actually written from the Sumerian tablets, but only using one god. So this is where monotheism was introduced. So in the sixth wave, we had the religious, patriarchal, science, education, commerce. It was separation from nature and divinity. Basically, it was the duality of good and evil, which is still really holding strong at the moment, and which I see as the world's biggest problems. So these monotheistic religions are the foundation of the duality of good and evil, and the forced worship of a singular God. You know, when we think about all these wars, we think about the conquistadors, all of these things. So it's only a creator does not require worship. Heavenly source creator has never asked for worship or worship. So this is duality, good and evil, warring worship. Okay, so there was an explosion of religions that took hold in the sixth wave. Original sin was introduced to program humanity into indebtedness and slavery, and the requirement of blood ritual sacrifice to pay debts, which were it's all an illusion. Original sin disempowered humanity to get away from their own power and their natural talents. Masonry and Christianity use the same King James Bible. So in Christianity, people are encouraged to interpret the Bible very literally, and the Masons use it more as a symbolic code, and it tells the story of the bloodline families and all of that, and they also use it kind of as a moral compass. But overall, it diminishes our human power, abilities, and presence to be dependent on an external saviour, rather than coming to know ourselves as one in nature and divine presence, that we actually save our own soul and reclaim our own soul. It does not get done for us. That's a very dangerous illusion. So everything's been held in place by trauma and fracturing and scattering people into soul shards or fragments, so that we literally have to claim our fragments and pull ourselves together. Only in unity, that's where we really experience love. Love does not have conditions. Love is not about good and evil. Love is have gratitude with love, because connection is love. It's not scattered all over the universe in soul shards and fragments. So it's up to us to claim our souls. So satanic ritual abuse is a violent form where sodomy splits the brain into parts, and its trauma splits our souls into fragments. And people that are seen as the biggest threats to this system often have been subjected to SRA, to have their minds split, to also be used for their purposes, because split minds mean people can do split things, like do good all day but be a radical Satanism in the night, which I'm talking about my ex-husband in that respect, terribly traumatized. Okay, so we release the charge that comes with the anger of injustice and claim our parts back. That's our work, and that's our lot to do. The sixth wave subjugated the feminine, the life force of earth, and it's very obvious within the monotheistic religions founded in their false time matrix of Saturnian time, the false time matrix. So it's up to us to return to love and truth, up to us to return to nature and source creator. And it's amazing when you do. I totally encourage it. Love doesn't require legislation of laws. It's ethical already. There's no moral compass required. We're ethical. Our hearts actually know how to be ethical. It transcends all of this, and our power reclaimed makes us safe and aligned within the cosmic dream of creation, not stuck in a separated nightmare, dodging further trauma and assault of the soul. Connection with divinity and nature in presence is the oneness of ourselves, and then we are empowered to materialize in our personal lives in alignment with love and truth. It's actually our duty now, and as each of that do that, we contribute to this consciousness to actually create from a transcended state of being. We love ourselves when we have called our lost parts home to ourselves. Honestly, you end up having so much compassion on yourself when you see how we were fractured and how we were damaged. We can only have compassion on ourselves, and we actually can end up having compassion even on the perpetrators, but also holding the boundaries to not go back into that. But, then we can be authentic and embrace the authentic expressions of other souls. We can see others, and, we're allowing and honouring and encouraging one another from a strong foundation of love and truth. We really know who we are from this place. There's no need for alien technologies of oaths, treaties, covenant, pledges, conditions, false timelines, and prison planet existence. So let's be careful too, because there's an alien kind of war that goes on. This beautiful planet is just so precious to so many, and they have these places called galactic federations, and I don't know which ones are which, and confederations, but anything that comes offering a treaty, offering a contract, offering oaths and pledges and all these sort of things, I just say beware, because that's the nefarious alien technology. And so basically we are here to take the charge out of what we've consented to. Some of that's not been known, and so with that I now put this invocation of reclamation of soul. So much love to you all. This is the invocation for energy reclamation, which was kind of put together by a really beautiful friend that I have from different sources. She drew it all together, and I really like this one. But it's taking our power back from soul connections. So this is what we really must do at this time, is to actually retrieve our souls, take our power back. Okay, so a soul connection is made with anyone, a person, people, company, governments, corporations. Connections are woven together energetically through attraction, enticement, and excitement. Symbolism connects us to the third-party interlopers: clothing, footwear, food outlets, supermarkets, vehicles. Anything with a title that's attached to your name. Your name is a soul contract. All soul connections are contracts bound by law. Contracts are made by consent, whether conscious or not. So consuming anything with a logo, label, symbol is a soul contract. All contracts are legal. Doesn't necessarily mean they are natural law. They are legal. Contracts are just agreements in writing, spoken word, body language, gesture, visual touch, internal consuming, emotionally, clothing, vehicles, loans, leases, memberships. All contracts are quantum entanglements, a particle that splits in two but connected at all times in different quantums or dimensions. So that means we lose our power because we are entangled all over the place. So this is when we become the one, we are the one. We've called everything back to ourselves, and so therefore we have our power. And all contracts are made with demons. How to break soul contracts: 3D revocation from physical person, company, corporations, etc. 4D revocation from demons, aliens. The power behind revocation is intention, and every individual being that breaks a contract affects the collective. So thank you if you're doing that. Okay, here's the revocation commands. I call back all my power from all people, whether in person or online, by telephone and telepathically, censored and uncensored. I call all my power back from individuals that attach to me and I them. I break all energy cords connected to any individual, visible, invisible, energetically, emotionally, trauma bonds, physically and spiritually. I call back all my power and energy from any alien experimentation and or control, either known or unknown. I call my energy back from all 3D and 4D attachments, companies, courts, banks, trusts, churches, clubs, clans, cults, tribes, ancestors, and governments in all paradigms, timelines, universes, galaxies, planets, alternate universes, and matrices. I call all contracts that I consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously consented to and summons them to the light. I call all contracts, copy, pledges, hidden copies, blueprints, carbon copies, duplicates to the light. All contracts, presumed and assumed, are hereby declared null and void. I rescind all my ink signatures, digital signatures, and I decree that I need not give my consent to usurp, use, or hold my energy in trust. All third parties are to cease and desist all dumping of impurities, emotional manipulation, physical and spiritual manipulation into my body and ethereal time and space. All my energy within my body and ethereal space is forbidden, and all magic is returned to sender. I clear my physical and spiritual body from all contracts made with people, places, and times. I decree that all contracts are no longer attached to me. I call back all the pieces of my soul that are scattered, bound, and imprisoned back to me to be purified and reconstituted in love and wholeness. This revocation is intentional and in effect immediately.